Welcome back to video number 3. This is where we talk about the working royals and some other royals who aren't actually working it, but okay, let's just jump in and cover. Let's go. On Thursday, King Charles had a reception at the, I hope I'm saying this right, Bletham Palace. They had a Bletham Palace summit. Now, the summit was hosted by Prime Minister Starmer, and it took place because there's concern about what events in the United States will mean for Ukraine. In other words, the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. People are concerned about a Republican administration cutting the financial support. And some of the people that were in attendance were Emmanuel Macron was there. I mean, of course, Prime Minister Starmer was there. Now, of course, Mr. Starmer is the one who greeted the king, and then they made their way to the Long Library for the reception. That's where it was held. The library apparently has over 10,000 books, amazing, and an organ commissioned in 1888 by the 8th Duke of Marlborough. And this palace is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and the birthplace of Sir Winston Churchill. Pretty cool. Now, Mr. Starmer is on X, or Twitter as it used to be called, and he put out a tweet that says, and I'm quoting, "European security is at the forefront of my government's foreign and defense priorities, and we will only be able to secure our borders and drive economic growth and defend our democracies if we work together. It's time to reset our relationship with Europe." Ooh, all right, moving on. Let's move on to Princess Catherine, not Princess Kate. She apparently put out a statement on a cause that they're saying is very close to her heart. She expressed her support for the opening of the Natural History Museum's new gardens. She sent a message that says, and I'm quoting, "I'm hugely supportive of the museum's commitment to create a special space that encourages people of all ages to reconnect with nature and learn more about how we can protect our natural world. I know the power of nature to support our development and well-being, both by bringing us joy and helping us stay physically, mentally, and spiritually healthy. And I hope these gardens will be inspiring and transformative for the thousands of people who visit." She is the patron of the museum. Obviously, with her chemo, she hasn't been able to be there, but she's been the patron since 2013 and has visited several times through the years. Sticking with Catherine, she and her fabulous husband, Prince William, put out a statement that it was a personal message to the Princess Royal after she returned to work. They put it out on what used to be Twitter, now X. And what it says is, because it's very small, I'll just tell you, it says, "Super Trooper, so great to see you back at work so soon, WNC." Now, they were reacting, of course, to the photos of Anne at her first engagement since being released from the hospital in Bristol, where we know she was treated for her head injuries. We all saw the pictures of the massive bruising that was still there on the side of her face that they attempted to cover up with makeup. Apparently, Anne was completely unaware of the social media post, and somebody let her know about it. The royal family did write on social media that Anne is beginning a gradual return to duties. So basically, they're saying she's not going to be returning to the hectic schedule that she was famous for before. And don't forget that in 2023, she carried out 457 engagements, the most out of anybody in the royal family. And, she's garnered a reputation for being the hardest working royal. She doesn't like being told to rest. We know this already. And, I think it's great that she's back to work, but I also think it's great that they're slowly easing her in. All right, moving on. And talking about Princess Anne, you cannot keep a good woman down. She returned to public duties again today. She arrived in Worcester. She's opening a new £35 million A&E unit. So this is part of her phase in. Now, she opened the Acute Hospitals NHS Trust's new emergency department. She met with staff from the hospital's emergency room. You know how I feel about that. And she learned about how their work is linked to the wider network of urgent and emergency care services. Now, she was able to see the new critical care beds that were put in, resuscitation rooms. They have new resuscitation rooms for adults. They also have one for children, which is, believe it or not, this is like super important. And I think it's interesting that she went to the emergency room after, 4 weeks after she was rushed to the hospital after being kicked by the horse while she was out walking, which is what they're saying is happening. Although she was by herself and she doesn't remember what happened. So again, nobody's really sure what happened. Now, while she was in Worcester, she also opened Kildare Hall. This is a new single-span building at the showground. And the reason she did that is because she is patron of the Three Counties Agricultural Society. Now, please do not misunderstand me. I am very happy to see Anne, and I understand that they have slowed her return down dramatically. I get it. I really do. But don't forget that last week when she went to her first engagement after she returned, they had to give her a chair and sit her down because she was unsteady on her feet. It's hard to remember, but she is 73 years old. So maybe she should slow down a little bit. That's all I want to say. All right, let's move on. Let's move on now to Andrew and Sarah. They're divorced, but they live together and they've been together for years. But Andrew's costs are mounting. Part of his lease is that he has to keep up the repairs on the Royal Lodge. So it's being reported Sarah Ferguson just released a new picture book series for children that she's hoping that the money will help pay for the repairs. It's called Flora and Fern, Wonder in the Woods. And the illustrations are done by Denise Hughes, and the story follows rabbits on a snowy festival adventure in the forest. They're going to put it out on October 10th. We know that Andrew has been fighting Charles to stay at that property. We know he has a 75-year lease that he signed in 2000, and it was in the lease he has to pay for the maintenance if he wants to stay there. And they're saying that there is a large extent of repairs that are needed inside and out. And even though Andrew has no formal income, he's determined that he can meet the costs. Some of the stuff that these articles are talking about is that, the house it needs ventilation, that there's damp and mold. They have to cut the electricity to attend to damp patches on the walls, but it's just cosmetic. And as soon as you finish one bit, there's another one that needs it. The whole house needs treating. And they're saying that the house feels unloved and sometimes it's actually freezing in there. All right, you guys, you know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to go down into the description box. You'll find the links to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Patreon, which right now is paused, my Amazon wish list. There's a physical address in case you want to send something. And for those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, have a great day.